hey, I'm like you because you look up to them. No different than black folks. No, and it doesn't matter your education or your position. You would think some of these people would know better.
What is the most painful thing you've ever been told?
When I was in high school, I remember telling one of my teachers that I wanted to be an author. So I wrote something, and he said, "You don't have any writing talent whatsoever." It hurt. I stopped writing for 13 years. I didn't do any personal writing at all. A roommate found the same thing that I wrote in high school, and he was like the first person. I was like, "You're a really good writer." I was like, "Yeah, I wrote that years ago. It's garbage." And he actually sent it into an essay competition without me knowing, and it won. Just decided to leave my job, and I started writing right after that, full time. I'm a 2-time New York Times bestselling author. His recent books are Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, The Courage to Dream, anthology Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse coming out in July, and my debut poetry collection, We Alive Beloved, drops in June. I think for people who are told that they're not talented enough or doubt that they can do certain things, one, everything is subjective, and two, those people.
You are now rocking with the one and only Blessed King Edition, baby. We back on it for all you YouTubers. Step your game up, cause this year, 2024, we coming in the door a little different. A little different from all of y'all. We trying to separate from you cats. We living on borrowed time, we don't know. See anything go, FBA, we need our dough. Got no friends, I got family, belly show. Where the love separated, cause he jealous, how I know. Trying to keep up with the Joneses on the low. Instagram, only fans, every day you trying to post. See, you gotta look good when you post. Cause you dying inside, so you got a feeling potent. That's why she popping for it. Then they out there popping triggers, politicians out there popping. All I see is us, they hitters. I'm a brother or a nigga or the one who pulled the trigger. Not a baby daddy mama, you a passport gentleman. She popping for a real, popping for a real. You need to pop it for a real, pop it for a real. Yeah, pop it for a real, pop it for a real. She needs to pop it for a real, pop it for a real. Somebody tell her I'm on Bourbon Street, looking pharmaceutical or bird a week. I'm only paid just to murder beats. Ain't no drugs coming out of me. I'm only YouTube swagging with it. Because the music business dragging nigga. Playing dress up like he dragging nigga. Old school say you nigga. Used to do music for the Hollywood. Black face, foreign taste, look like Bollywood. You know the $5 wig with $1 million gig. Now me and Dennis, we big now. Popping for a nigga, and they popping for a trigger. Politicians out there popping. All I see is us, they hitters. I'm a brother or a nigga or the one who pulled the trigger. Not a baby daddy mama, you a passport gentleman. Pop it for a real, pop it for a real. She wanna pop it for a real, pop it for a real. She gotta pop it for a real, pop it for a real. She wanna pop it for a real, pop it for a real. Yeah, it's cold outside. Blizzard King coming, especially for the melanated woman. You better grab one and hold them tight. Cause Susie, Juan Maria, and the whole tribe coming. Better watch your numbers, it's cold outside. Blizzard King coming, especially for the melanated woman. You better grab one and hold them tight. Cause Susie, Wong, and Maria, and the whole tribe coming. Better watch your numbers. She popping for a then they out there popping triggers. Politicians out there popping. All I see is us, they hit her. I'm a brother or a nigga or the one who pulled the trigger. Not a baby daddy mama, you a passport gentleman. Pop it for a real, pop it for a real. She wanna pop it for a real, pop it for a real. Pop it for a real, pop it for a real. She wanna pop it for a real, pop it for a real.
Salute, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Simple Shit TV. I am your host, Alvin Holden, also known as Project 8020. Here with my brother, Broken Blade. What's up, Broken Blade? How are you doing, sir?
What's up, man? I'm good.
That's what I'm talking about. Man, did you get a chance to see this flight? It happened a couple of days ago, but you get a chance to see this rocket do its thing?
No, I didn't.
And they did another one. I think we should start to maybe pay a little bit more attention to these things. You know what I'm saying? Wait, what was I? Sorry, guys. I had I was trying to figure out what I had going on here. Bam. Okay, we'll do this first. So first of all, shout out to Calvin H. What's going down, sir? How are you? Salute to everybody who might catch this on the replay. Apologize for being a little bit late. I had a million things to do this afternoon, but I am glad that I got on. I want to try to keep it up, trying to be consistent. So, man, how was your day? I'm sorry, I'm so rude.
That was fine. It's been alright. Slowly chipping away, trying to get this, trying to complete my security 3 certification.
Gotcha. Yeah, I swear it's like sometimes I feel like I'm spinning my wheels. You know, I'm like, man, I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff and it doesn't feel like I'm moving anywhere. I think I am. I believe I'm knocking things off the to-do list and I'm moving forward. I think so, but sometimes it just seems like staying in the same place and these wheels are just turning.
Facts.
So Carlos Miller is one of my favorite comedians. Like, he has a show called the 85 South Show. He was on Nick Cannon's what was Nick Cannon's show called? Wildin' Out. Yes, he was on there. Just a really funny, like solid dude. You know what I'm saying? Always one of my favorites. So then I see he's on this podcast, and the title of it is Carlos Miller Drinks Wine with the White Lady. And it's funny. This is a podcast. These girls kind of sit around, drink wine, and kind of talk smack. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to her. I'll introduce a little bit later on. I'll put the link up if you guys want to check it out. But there was a moment towards the end of the interview that, like, where I think Carlos actually had some authentic pain, like hurt behind some of the conversation, to the point to where at first I thought he was playing, but then I kind of didn't think he was playing. And then he started talking about it and I was like, oh shit, he really is not playing. like he really felt like he really felt that he had a moment for real.
Right.
And it started to make me think to myself, have I ever had a relationship, like if I, like, is there anybody that I've dated thus far that I feel that way about? Like, if I were to think, like, if someone were to ask me about any of my previous relationships, would I, like, get emotional over it? I think. I don't think I would. For real. I think I'm probably pissed because I spent probably more time with somebody that I wasn't able to follow through with. But you know what? I don't know. Have you? Does that sound? I mean, previous relationship where you're like, dang, I messed that up, or I wish I'd have zigged instead of zagged. We'd probably still be here, or I might be, have a wife and kids.
Nah. The one that comes to mind, like she blew that up. Like the more anger, like damn, like for real.
Yeah.
More than myself also, like for not pulling the string, not pulling the cord earlier.
Yeah. It's so funny. I saw a moment in a movie once. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. I saw a moment in a movie once, and I was watching it with a female, and in the movie, the guy recognizes that this girl is like lying and cheating and full of shit, right?
Yeah.
And like he doesn't full blown bawl, but he starts to cry.
Yeah.
And the girl makes a references in like, like kind of like he's kind of being a bitch a little bit, right? And completely misunderstood the situation. And I said, well, he's not crying because of that. He's crying because she forced his hand. Like, he has to leave now. He's got to leave. He won't stick around anymore. It's over. He's pissed because he wasted a bunch of time and money and energy and effort, and there is no going back. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not anything that she could say that's going to sweet talk her back into the damage that she has done is unrepairable. Can't be repaired. Can't be fixed. That bitch is done. That mirror is broke.
Yeah.
He's crying because he knows that it's over for real, based on what she did. Now, she might think that, okay, we'll break up and maybe we'll come back around. And remember, because she was trying to jump to another branch. She was trying to, and so I said, I just think that you look at that situation through your eyes. You don't look at it through a man's eyes. And if you look at it through a man's eyes, then you would know, you would sit there and say, fuck, like I just wasted like how much time? God damn, 2 years, 3 years. I took this bitch to my parents. You know what I'm saying? This broad knows my freaking family. God damn it. Like, I got to start all over again with somebody else. You know, it's so obnoxious. It's so annoying. And that, when I think about it now, might be part of what's keeping me from really like going super duper, like, even now, because I'm like, bitch, I don't even want to take the time to try to get to know you because you're going to change your mind. And then 2 years from now, you're going to be a different human being. And I'm going to be pissed off that I wasted my time with you. Anyways, this brother had a moment here, and he's normally very funny. He's very funny. And like, I was kind of a little bit like, damn, I don't know. He might be serious. I want you to let me know what you think on the other side. Let's let this rock.
Fucking hard as fuck. Like, those flip-flop feet definitely
He's talking about feet.
I literally, I was probably 12 and under, and then recently I got my bricks. No, like bricks. Like, see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, come on, we just be.
I was like, this is weird. She was so foot up here.
Oh, he's talking. So he's talking about his ex.
She was like, help me with him. Like, put your foot up here. I'm gonna make him soft on the bottom. Yeah, she showed me a lot of love.
Oh, where's she now?
Probably with a man. She's a great woman. Ain't nobody gonna keep letting her go like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Why'd you let her go?
I didn't let her go. I fucked it up.
Well, that's letting her go.
Fuck it up. And she made a promise to me. She's like, you will never see me again until I'm married and pregnant.
And she kept it.
And I haven't seen her since. Maybe she's not pregnant or married, but I'm pretty sure the next time I see her, she's gonna be at least one of the two.
Did you learn from that?
That's why I didn't want no wine.
Did you learn from that?
Yes. I learned a lot. I learned that was probably the one. And I'm probably going to just have to settle from here on out. Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, shit.
It's getting a little wet in here. It's raining inside. Yeah, you're in your feels. It's the wine. Okay, give me your wine of the week.
She had them titties. Or you know them kind of titties where it's like when you squeeze them, they just bounce right back.
What's your wine of the week?
So there's a black dude in camera. I don't know if he's a producer or whatever. So he's been like telling her something and she's been kind of confused, and he'll like redirect it over here to make sure she understands. And then he comes back. They've been doing it the whole podcast. It was pretty funny.
She had the ass too,
Get
bro.
the hell.
Bro, you know the ass when you smack it, like, foul, and then it'd be like, it ain't have no dimples in it. It was completely.
Stop talking about this woman who is now married.
We bonded right now through trauma, bro. Ain't have no dimples in it. I'm talking about a completely smooth ass. You ever seen no, none, smooth. You ever seen like a pound cake? Smooth.
You fucked it up.
All nice. All 10 toes was nice. Not one bad.
Say one good thing about her personality.
She's really smart.
Okay.
I mean, like really, really smart. She taught me about prions.
About what?
Prions.
What's that?
I don't want to get into it, but she was really smart.
You have a little tear.
She was a doctor. She used to help people and deliver babies.
Wow.
Yeah.
You really fucked up.
Yeah.
Whatever you did.
She had money too.
And you've never
And a
heard from
lot of
her
money.
again.
A lot of money. She was great. Anyway. What were we talking about?
What's your wine of the week?
I don't know. I thought it was funny. Because I think there was some authenticity in there.
Yeah.
Right? You're like,
The more I got him in his emotions.
yeah, it's like he went somewhere for a second. He was like, you know, like, oh shit, he's really remembering back. I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? He's like, she was real nice and gentle and forgiving and all that stuff. I was like, you don't hear that very often.
No.
Right. And that's kind of another thing too. That's another thing. Men will admit when they messed up the relationship.
Facts.
Men will at least admit their part. There we go with that accountability again. Men will be like, yeah, you know what? I messed up. Didn't know what I had. You know, I've been pretty fortunate lately. I kind of been seeing some of my old exes and stuff, and they're like either baby mamas or aging like old milk. I don't feel like I dodged a couple bullets. You know what I'm saying? I think I did the Neo a couple of times. But I wanted to stay on Carlos because, again, you know how the algorithm works, right? I mean, you know, once the algorithm, you know, all of a sudden now I'll watch, you know, this clip and then another clip pops up and I'm like, oh, you know what? That fool must have gone on a press run. So he sat down with Shaq. Yeah, he sat down with Shaq and had something interesting to say about Stephen A, which I thought was pretty funny, and I agree with. So shout out to Shaq's podcast. I'm ashamed that there's so many advertisements on there though. It's bullshit, but whatever. Let's let Carlos talk to y'all. Wait, hold on. Let me get this beat right. Get this right. All right, let's let Carlos talk.
Just sports in general.
People that are obsessed with sports, ever been something that you, like, if you're ever like, you see the way that we talk about sports, our fans are like, has there ever been something that you just think is ridiculous about the entire thing?
About just sports in general.
People that are obsessed with sports, fans of sports.
I think it's stupid that they tell you how much money that they make.
Yeah, I hate that.
Because Walmart don't do that. We just hired a new cashier starting out at $32,000. They don't. It's her part-time job. Don't get it up. She got the option to make $42,000 if she works some Saturdays. Like, why do they put all the business? Yeah, that's not cool.
It's not. I think it creates a huge issue between fans and players. And now we're starting to get it with media. Now we know how much Stephen A's getting paid.
Broken Blade. Do you want to know what these athletes are making?
No.
You don't?
No.
You're not curious?
Not at all. All the question, are they making enough to be worth the injuries? Do they think it's enough? The answer is hell yeah. All right, do you.
Do you?
Beyond that, it's pocket watching.
Yeah. I never really understood that. I mean, I guess you want to know when someone's being successful. So then you say, okay, that's a successful job or a successful thing to do. And it might be something that you know, but I don't know if I really.
Maybe
is it the status? Is it the status that they're trying to convey? Like with the players?
I think it might be more bait for the hood.
Okay, that makes sense.
Legit way out.
We are so backwards when it comes to that. We are so backwards when it comes to that. Like, that's the only way out is crazy to me. Like, the only way out. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm like, do I really want to know? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, well, part of the reason why I don't watch NFL anymore is because of the economics. And maybe I don't care so much about what the players make. I guess I care a little bit more about because we got to look at, okay. Let's look at it like this. We have been talking about, I have a conspiracy theory. And in my conspiracy theory, I believe that young people are more powerful than we think. I think when they get trained properly, then they can grow up to be crazy powerful human beings. And I think that the ability of a human is being degraded to keep us thinking that we need to stay down here. Meanwhile, the elites understand that there's a whole nother level. And so we talked about, did we talk about what you call it yet? No, we didn't do that yet. So it's kind of like Star Wars, bro, where the Jedi Knights, they go around and you know, they hear the stories of kids. I heard about a kid that could bend spoons over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go see what this kid's all about. You know, that's what they were doing. Like, if you really go back and watch when they went and took and even when they were like homeboy was looking over Luke Skywalker, right? He's like, I'm just gonna stay in the hood, stay over here and just watch until it's time to snatch him up out of here.
Yeah.
You know? And so like how isn't that not predatory? Isn't that gross kind of? Like by normal standards?
Yeah.
Right? So if that same kind of theme keeps popping up in every genre all over the place, there's something to it, right? Like maybe it's like, well, wait a minute. All I'm saying is that I think that how we train up our kids and how we and so for us to just assume that we're going to just turn our kids into a bunch of battering rams and that's their only way out of the hood is doing our children a disservice. Right? Meanwhile, you know, the powers that be or people that know understand that, oh, I have a little nuclear physicist over here. You know, oh, I've got a little this person over here is going to change the world in this kind of way. Right now, all we can do is just hope that they use their powers for good and not for bad. But good for who? Good for whom?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. So, you know, anyways, I just thought here's what this is, Rock.
Paid. That was never a thing before. 5 years, 100 million.
I don't know. I don't know. Stephen, I don't know what his real job is.
Talking.
Just be on there, just yelling.
Okay, real fast. Oh, he's about to say something controversial. Do you hear the non-melanated person talk? Right? Like you got, I'm giving you permission to talk smack, basically. Right? Oh, it's time to get messy. I'm gonna give you permission to talk.
Was never a thing before. 5
talk
years,
messy.
100 million.
I don't know. I don't know. Stephen, I don't know what his real job is.
Talking.
Just be on there, just yelling about that nobody can.
I'm starting to notice a lot of that, bro. They get enjoyment from just watching us degrade each other. It's like cockfighting, but whatever.
He cares about.
He does get emotional about things that are medium.
But it don't even really, it just be in the sports world. It don't really be like no real argument. Yeah. Kevin Durant doesn't eat breakfast. It's like, who cares? Kevin Durant doesn't eat breakfast. I'm telling you, the son's got it all wrong here. What the hell are you mad about?
What was the earliest moment you remember sports making you mad?
Let me see. Sports making me mad. I don't really get upset in sports. I think sports is hilarious, man. I watch it. I don't really be too invested. I can never be sad that my team lost.
Gotcha. You're not a my team guy.
Because like once I got into the entertainment industry and I saw that it was like, as fans see this as like a blood sport, but they don't even see the part like after the game. It's the after party. It's both teams in here. They kicking it. Like they the ones who make the rivalry. So once I saw that was like, oh, they partners. Man, they got a camp. I mean, I grew up on the old school sports where I really thought these hated each other. Like where they was smoking cigarettes and drinking beers on the bench.
He got up early because was it Hulk Hogan? And
yeah, so I did a WWE event at my house in Orlando. They said, hey, all the wrestlers coming by. I said, yeah, they can come by. So Hulk Hogan came in, a couple other guys came in, Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan.
Was it Macho Man?
And Macho Man. And all these start eating my hors d'oeuvres and talking with each other. And growing up, I always thought they hated each other.
Exactly.
You know what's great? It actually was a sad day for me because I thought, even though I'm a professional now, I make a whole bunch of money, I thought that wrestling was real.
Down that cocktail,
Shaq,
brother.
when you
I thought
go
it
back
was
and
real.
watch
I did.
Shaq highlights, it was a few people we know you didn't like.
Oh yeah,
real.
Oh yeah,
You ain't had to push dude like that. You already dunked on him. His family was in that.
No, but you know why I pushed him? Because I took it as a sign of disrespect that they didn't double me. That's why I bounced and looked back. I was like, oh, you still not coming? And I just kept inching. Like I already knew I'm not doing no layup, no fadeaway. If y'all not gonna send 2 or 3 people now, I'm putting my in his neck.
That's crazy.
That look is exactly that look is exactly the same look I said when he said that was exactly it right there. After Shaq was like, I'm gonna put my nuts on his neck. It's like, God damn. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Why, Shaq? Why? I thought that was interesting, bro. I thought that was interesting. Little Stephen A soundbite, but I was just noticing the dynamic. And I was like, oh, you're gonna give me a messy clip? Give me a little red meat to clip up and go viral with. Wasn't a lot, it was enough, but you know, it was enough. What do you think, Broken Blade? You know, the podcast space, talking space, you know, you can only talk so much, right? I guess. I don't know. Do you think people are gonna run out of things to speak about?
No, I doubt it.
You don't think this is going anywhere?
Not for a while.
Mm.
As long as there's some level of honesty that can be expressed here, yeah, always gonna be around.
I mean, you know, you made it. No, go ahead.
Especially if people continue to think mainstream media is lying about different news topics.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a great point. Because that's the problem, right? We don't have we're not getting good information, you know, and you can't, bro. Your life depends on good information. It really does. Like it really does. I mean, Broken Blade. Part of the reason why we're watching this today, man, is because when you start looking again at the enormity of this, like just the sheer enormity of it, and you say, who in the hell is paying for all that? Oh, we're paying for that. I believe that's tax dollars paying for that. I believe that's like our data that's been farmed from us paying for that. Why are we paying to get off the planet when probably none of us are going to be able to afford to get off the planet? And they're just punking us for our money.
Yeah.
They're just taking it. And there's like literally nothing we can do about it. I don't know, bro. I'm like, I look at this and I say, like why? Like, why are we, I need more information. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the reason what you're telling me is not everything, you know? Oh, you just want to get off the planet just to get off the planet? You just want to be you just want to be you just want to go to all these other places.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I guess I get it. And then here's another part, Broken Blade, that I didn't really, I'm still kind of, okay. I'm not saying, okay, I'm going to start this statement by saying, I'm not saying that we didn't go to the moon. But the last 3 ships blew up that went up there to do stuff. And they weren't really doing stuff that was like crazy complicated. I mean, okay. In context.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Obviously, you've got the reusable rocket to get the main Starship to space. and then there's got to be a breakaway point, and then the second ship boots up, it fires its engines, and it continues on the trip. But none of the last three ships were like got a chance to dock or to put stuff out into space or whatever. They blew up in the lower upper atmosphere, somewhere around 125 to 150 kilometers above the surface. This ship was special because they tried some special tiles on the belly of it so it can deal with heat a little bit differently, right? The booster that sent it up there was the first one that has been, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, reused at least one other time already.
Yeah.
So this one has been reused one time already. But the last three have blown up in the atmosphere. So I'm thinking to myself, I mean, is it because it's unmanned? Is it because, I don't know, why? I don't know why. Okay. I mean, it can't be easy. It can't be easy. I'm assuming it's really not easy.
Yeah.
But then I start thinking back and I'm like, how is it that 50 years ago, they did it on the first shot and made it all the way back? Like, not only got out there, but got back. When seems like we're having a hard time getting this thing out of the atmosphere good. Does that make any sense? Like, is it not weird?
Absolutely weird.
Right? Or I don't know. I mean, I guess. I mean, I understand what's supposed. I mean, they're trying things. This ship was supposed to be the first time with these new tiles on the belly, and they're supposed to while it was flying, it's supposed to open up some doors, and so they're supposed to be testing a bunch of stuff. But I don't know. Let's see what we got here, guys.
Super heavy booster back to Earth. So having all of these responsible engineers ready to support is crucial during Starship testing, where we place hardware in flight conditions quickly to iterate and make the best and most reliable rocket that we can. So it's definitely a full house.
I would like to make another observation, Broken Blade. There are no black people here.
Yeah.
I don't like being boxed out of the future. We're boxed out of the future, bro. Like, they've successfully boxed us out of the future. So in my estimation, there's either one of two ways you can go. And this is kind of funny too, because it also falls in line with this whole Athenians and Olympians or whatever, right? And I think it's almost the same in the Hindu wars too. One side was highly technically advanced, and the other were like freaking hardcore bush people with like that I'm sure were like had special powers. They could, you know what I'm saying, jump around and do. They're hyper athletic, maybe, if I had to guess from what I can. Huh?
Who won though?
So then if we learn these lessons, then we say, okay, so they're zigging, we're gonna zag. What does a zag look like? We're gonna come back to that. Let's get on into the ship getting ready to take off. So, bro, this is a 15-story building being lifting a 12-story building. And once again, bro, I'm still trying to figure out how it is that these people did this shit in the 60s and 70s and we can't replicate it, but whatever.
Or this gives us the best chances at success. And the clock is rolling.
There we go.
All right. T-minus 30. Let's listen in. Watch that first flight proven super heavy. Get ready to take off.
Okay, Broken Blade, real fast. Remember I was telling you how when I look at these things, I look at the sheer, like the volume of it, right? Like I look at the amount of money, the dollars, like what it takes to do all this stuff. Look at all this infrastructure down here. I don't know if these are ships or hulls of ships or not. I know that there's some fuel tanks down here. I think there's some fuel tanks down here. I know that there's
a launch pad, ain't it?
Yeah, that's the launch pad. It says, looks like there's a separate launch pad. This might be the old one, or they might be building a new one. They could very well be building another one. Bro, I mean, if they get this thing down, I get the feeling that they're going to, once they get this down, bro, they're going to be like sending rockets up every 5 minutes. I mean, they're putting satellites in the, I didn't even know this, but I saw one of the ships one of the rockets that got sent up the other day had something like 200 satellites in it. Like it got up to the atmosphere and just releases the satellites, and then they go to their position and then they just basically lock on and geo travel along with the planet together. They create a grid. If you look, when we get done with this, I'll show there's an animation. I can show you a picture of what it actually looks like. There's layers. So there's like 100 kilometers. There's like a grid. And then 110, there's like another grid. And then another grid. Like that's how it's separated up there. And then there's space junk floating around all over the place too, because India's been sending stuff up, Russia's been sending stuff up, China's been sending stuff up, the French have been sending stuff up, Italians have been sending stuff up, Britain's been sending things up because they send up satellites to help facilitate their whatever, countries in Africa. So I think that there's a lot going on up there that we just don't even know. And that's the part that agitates me. Let's let this rock. Because this is, I mean, just the sheer, this is insane, bro. This is crazy.
Starbase.
T-minus. Delta 1. Hit hold.
It got held up again.
We did have a hold, and looks like the clock jumped back to T-minus 40 seconds.
So every time it gets to where it everything's not quite lining up properly, it'll stop the clock and then it'll fire it back up to 40 seconds again and restart the start. So that's why it did that. Then of course, if you look down on the bottom, Broken Blade, I know you've watched this with me before, but just for the sake of the audience, you've got the condition of the ship here and its orientation, all of the rocket engines accounted for at the bottom of the bottom ship, the super heavy ship. And then you've got speed, altitude on this side. Once the ship breaks off, then there'll be this over here, and then it'll be the same over there for the top half. So now we're just getting ready to get into liftoff.
All right, so we jumped out. I did not see the deflector minus ground. We are hang out at your looking to.
I'm just going to scrub through here. Going to get to it.
To ascend skyward.
All right, here we go. sorry. I hate to do this. Is that not insane looking? I don't like that we don't have anything to do with this broken blade. I don't like that my tax dollars are paying for it, but I have no access. I can't, you know what I mean? Like we are absolutely not a part of this at all. Bro, they got us running around talking about Diddy and Tory Lanez. And while we're chasing our tails, these people are sending stuff to the, do you see where I'm going with this broken blade?
I've seen the movie Elysium.
I don't, all I think is, when I see this, all I think is, why are we not even remotely involved? Not even in the news part of it, not even reporting it, talking about it, nothing.
You know why.
Insane.
Is your rapid fuel pressure nominal?
T plus 40 seconds. It's one hell of a sight.
719 kilometers per hour. So right now it's going just getting over 5. Let's see, kilometers are faster. So probably around 300, just coming up to 300 miles per hour, only in a couple of seconds.
From here, we see it arcing right over top of us. We see 33 out of 33 Raptor engines lit on Super Heavy as it starts to ascend skyward. Coming up on maximum aerodynamic pressure, then only about a minute and a half until we get into hot staging.
So, and again, I don't know if anybody, this is for the sake of the audience and for the sake of anybody that might watch this afterwards. Basically, maximum pressure is the hardest that the acceleration and the atmosphere will be on the machine itself until it comes back. So as it's leaving the atmosphere, like, this is the most stress that's going to be put on this machine. Even though it's out in space, it doesn't have the same kind of pressures on it. Makes any sense? And it's at 10 kilometers. So it's like at 10 kilometers, and I think at 15 kilometers there's another kind of a checkpoint.
Wow, Dan, that was incredible. We could feel the building shaking here, feel the vehicle's power. Now we're just about a minute away from shutting down those engines on the booster. Again, this booster is flying for its second time today.
All right, so
wait.
coming up.
Second time today or second time today? I think it's second time today.
A little under a minute. We're going to see all but the 3 center engines turn off on the booster. So our version of MECO, most engines cut off. And then just a few seconds later, hoping to see 6 engines ignite on ship to push it away. All right, hot staging, about 30 seconds. And definitely keep an eye on which way the booster flips. First ever directional flip we're going for today should flip straight up.
So they're at 55 kilometers, almost 4,500 miles or 4,500 kilometers per hour. I need to be able to do that calculation quickly in my head.
See those engines powering?
So roughly 2,000 miles per hour, a little bit more.
Down.
Booster engine cutoff. Ship ignition. Stage separation.
So the ship kept going, bottom separated, fires up its engine. So I don't think it's moving up. It's falling down, but I think it's slowing its descent.
Incredible flip by Super Heavy booster, and you can see those 6 engines, those 3 engines on the ship ignited.
6 healthy Raptors running on ship on its way to space. Peek that engine view. Booster doing the boost back. Chris, how's it looking over there in Hawthorne, man?
It is looking
chamber pressure is nominal.
It is looking absolutely incredible here in Hawthorne. As we said, 6 healthy engines on ship. We've got 13 out of 13 engines on the booster. Now down to those 3, which is what we expect in the final moments of the boost back burn. Now, as a reminder, we are not recovering the Super Heavy booster today. We are instead going to do some...
Boost back, shutdown.
And there we had a good shutdown of the boost back burn. Next up will be the jettison of that hot stage
Ship
ring.
avionics, power and telemetry nominal.
Great call out there that everything looking nominal aboard the Super Heavy vehicle, which is returning to Earth. And we're going to be doing some experiments with it, including a higher angle of attack re-entry, as well as some engine tests as it gets closer to the Gulf. We are, again, because of these tests not recovering it, we are sending it to the Gulf on purpose to do those tests. But again, you see the booster on the left-hand side of your screen. You see ship with 6 healthy engines continuing its...
You know, I think a lot of these flat earthers might have a hard time with this shot right here. I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just saying it just looks like it. I'm just saying it just looks round is all. You know? I'm just putting it out there, you know, because, I mean, we just watched this device, you know, this thing lift off of the ground, and I mean, I guess they could have done some magic with it, but I mean, it really looks like the Earth is round. I just wanted to put that out there, just for those that I don't know. I can't quite understand the flat Earth argument, sort of.
Yeah, man. Like, there's 2 questions I want to ask, and like not even Hassan's give you a straight answer on that. But the 2 questions, like, do they think it's an honest mistake of science, or is it an intentional obfuscation of the truth? And if they assume the latter, for what purpose? What do they stand to gain for making people believe the world is round when it's actually flat?
Would you be less likely to believe that you're in the Truman Show if it were circular versus round?
That's a moot point.
I don't know. I'm just asking. I wonder if it would be easier to convince. I mean, I think if it
got far more evidence of us actually being screwed other than the shape of the planet. Yeah.
I agree. I think it's a weird thing to fight about a little bit. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that these people have been lying about for sure. But I don't know. I've seen a horizon, like I've seen the curvature of the Earth. I'm like, you ain't gonna get me on the flat earther stuff. You know what I'm saying? Usually I cut that conversation off right away. I'm like, look, dude, because I'm going to question your intelligence. I am. I'm not. I totally am. And then after like 1 or 2 back and forths or a rebuttal or 2, then I'm going to start to get downright disrespectful, because I just think it's weird that at this point, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, we might as well not even have this conversation if you think, you know, that this is the situation. Here, let's let this rock for a second, because this doesn't go so well. I mean, but I want to document
ascent to its planned suborbital trajectory. Everything going very well so far for Starship's 9th flight. Now 4 minutes, 15 seconds in. Great views from inside of the aft engine area of ship there, looking at those 3 sea level and 3 Raptor engines on the right-hand side of your screen. the booster doing its LOX dump, that liquid oxygen dump. So because we don't need some of that liquid oxygen propellant in its tanks, we vent that propellant out to lessen the booster's mass as it comes in for its landing.
Different camera, curvature still looks there. Hey, Broken Blade, are those stars that you see up there?
Yeah,
They look like stars, huh?
Yeah.
I just remember trying to, because I was thinking on the moon landing when they were showing the he was hopping around. I don't remember seeing any stars. Maybe the reflection made it too bright to where you can't. I'm gonna that's the excuse I'm gonna allow for now. But that is a question that I have. I just don't recall seeing any stars, but maybe there's something weird with the light that I don't know about.
Just absolutely gorgeous views watching these two vehicles do their respective things in the skies over Texas here today. And Dan, we're approaching the 5-minute mark into the flight. Super Heavy is descending rapidly. What can we expect here in the next few minutes as it does its atmospheric tests?
Yeah, now as we had talked about, Super Heavy might not have a very smooth ride down. We're going to be putting it through this higher angle of attack. So we're kind of pitching it up a tiny bit, increasing drag. We've done this in wind tunnels. We've done this in computer modeling. It shows that sometimes.
So Broken Blade, with just a keen eye, just because I try to look for things, I believe we have a leak. Now, currently, at the moment, this is at 133 kilometers above the surface. All 6 engines are firing. There's a leak right here. Can you see on the? There's a leak at the top of the screen.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at it.
You see that? Okay, watch this.
Times the control isn't great.
I don't think it's supposed to be doing that. And I don't know shit about rockets. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. I could be 100% wrong, but
smooth ride down. We're going to be putting it through this higher angle of attack. So we're kind of pitching it up a tiny bit, increasing drag.
I don't think it's supposed to be doing that. I don't think. Isn't it crazy how you can't even see the flames either? Well, I guess you can kind of barely see the flames off the center 3.
We've done this in wind tunnels. We've done this in computer modeling. It shows that sometimes the control isn't great.
That looks like a leak.
But only one way to really prove it out, and that's to get real world data. So here comes Super Heavy. It should be igniting for its landing burn in just about 40 seconds from now.
And we are going to relight 13 engines, then bring that down to 3 engines. As we talked about earlier, we will be intentionally shutting down. We will be shutting down one of those 3 center engines intentionally to push the limits of the Super Heavy booster.
Ship Raptor, chamber pressure is nominal.
And continuing to see.
So the Super Heavy never fired again. It never refired. It never fired back up again.
6 healthy engines on the ship, 3 sea level and 3 vacuum engines still ignited as the Super Heavy booster is making its way back down to Earth.
We can see those grid fins doing some heavy work.
Booster landing startup.
Ignited for our landing burn.
I get the feeling it didn't fire and stay fired, and I think it hit the ground probably a little bit harder or hit the water a little bit harder than they wanted it to.
Yeah.
That's what I take away from that. I think it was supposed to fire them, and it tried to fire them, and it started to fire them, but it looked like they went out, and then there was a audible So I think it probably hit the water at terminal velocity. Let's rock.
It may have ended with that landing burn.
Oh, see, maybe.
Does look like we lost telemetry from the booster once we started into that landing burn.
Yeah, it's really hard to say that the Earth is. I mean, maybe it's circular. Maybe that's what it is.
Did you see her confirmation that the booster did demise? So the booster's flight ending before it was able to get through landing burn. But again, we are not bringing that back. We're
That leak is gone.
expecting it to make a hard splashdown in the Gulf. We were getting live data back the entire time through that high angle of attack flight. So that was something that was really vital for us to get during this reuse. First free flight of booster in the books. All right, ship. Has about 2 minutes left.
Yeah, in
Something
about 2
happens
minutes,
here.
we expect all 6 Raptor engines to shut down. That will be SECO, basically second engine or second stage engine shut off. And these are some incredible views, Dan, from the aft end of the ship, watching as the engines stay ignited with the Earth in the background.
So this
As
thing
always,
is going.
the Starship avionics team, the techs. I think we just heard the booster. But all right, we got about a minute left into this.
Now check this out. This thing is going. Let's see, 20,000 kilometers per hour. Do you have a calculator handy?
I do not.
Okay, don't worry about it. I got it. 20,000 kilometers per hour. 20,000. I just want to get it in miles per hour just to be what you call it. And I don't want to get, why am I hitting the wrong goddamn button? Fat fingers. So 9,000 miles per hour, just over, coming up on 20,000. It's like 2.2 kilometers to miles. So 9,000 miles per hour, right? So traveling on anything at 9,000 miles per hour. 9,000. It's a ship.
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem at moving it. Now, I guess I wonder how much pressure is really on the machine at that speed. Like, you're in space, so there's a vacuum, right?
Yeah.
So like the reason why the plane has lift is because there's enough atmosphere to push underneath the wings. When you're in space, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if you can get, clearly because of the shape of the ship, you don't need as large of a control surfaces. That's what it's called. So wings.
Yeah.
But the last 2 ships that burned up in the atmosphere, and just from what I remember, they shut off the engines, they turned them back on again. They all didn't come on. One of them was off, and then it went into a spin. And then it just went into a spin until it just tore itself apart as it like entered back into the atmosphere. So clearly this is a lot harder than it looks, is what I'm kind of trying to say.
Yeah.
And the more I see, the more I'm like, so you guys did this in the 60s. Remember I told you about the Volkswagen? Imagine the Volkswagen version of this. And then on one of the first or second tries, you make it all the way to the moon and back. What are the chances?
Slim to none.
That's what I'm saying.
With
no refueling.
All eyes definitely on ship as we get through the final stages into its ascent. We're expecting it to start to cut those engines off in about 45 seconds.
Is that a hot spot? You see on the cone of the right here, the cone. You can't see my mouse. On the right side, cone, there's a glowing orange area right there.
Yeah.
That looks like a hot spot. Because we got it. Those engines are fire. Those things are going full speed right now. They're going black. They're being used right now. You can't see the flames, but there's a flame out of the back of that entire ship. You just can't see it because it's just as bright as the sun. And but there's monster flames coming off the back of this thing, and that is a hot spot, if I'm not mistaken. I wonder if that's the one that doesn't cut back on again.
Terminal guidance.
All right, just about 30 seconds to go. We're in terminal guidance in the final stages of this ascent burn. We did see shutdown of the Raptor engines.
Shut down. So the three in the middle
We do
are still
stagger
moving.
these, so we do the Raptors first. Those three have shut down successfully. Sea levels still running.
Ship engine cut off.
Shut them all off.
Ship engine cut off, the three most beautiful words in the English language.
And great call out that we had nominal insertion.
Nominal insertion. Is that something different? I don't know what that is. Nominal insertion. Like into a like
An incredible flight test so far today.
All right, so now I don't know if they're trying to fly this thing while the engines are off. I'm not exactly sure what they're I think that I don't know whether they were trying to like stay in a basically stay like because they're accelerated to 26,000. Maybe that's what it is. 26,481 kilometers per hour. They probably have enough momentum to keep them going. They don't need to have them on.
Yeah.
It's accelerated to where they want to go. Now I imagine they need to just get into a stable position, if I had to guess.
We reflew a super heavy booster for the very first time in 9 test flights. Ship is in its orbital trajectory. Again,
Okay.
it's going to remain suborbital for its mission today.
So
but it ignited
It
ignited all 6 of its engines and made it all the way through SECO just now.
So it's kind of looking like it's ass up, facing away from the planet. We're looking into space.
Yeah.
What a moment.
Incredible.
All right.
And
I mean, that's still lots to come for the rest of this flight. Per usual, I need to collect myself. Hey, Chris, how's it going over there in Hawthorne, man? How's everybody doing?
I think the elation and the excitement and the happiness.
Okay, so you see, like it's not flying straight. It's already drifting. It's already doing stuff.
At what we just saw achieved, carried through across.
Right, like does that not look? It's not moving forward, right?
All of our sites. What an incredible view to see Starship back orbiting the Earth just under 11 minutes into our mission. Absolutely exciting to see all of this and super pumped, especially to see all of the team's hard work in action here today. As guaranteed, it has been an exciting evening so far for Starship's 9th test flight. We lifted off a little bit after 6:30 p.m.
It's not moving. It's not flying straight, is it? It's like pretty much flying sideways. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I thought I'm like
after a couple of holds that were triggered at the T-minus 40-second mark, but we were able to clear those, one on the Raptor, one on the tower, and we were able to lift off successfully from
I mean, were they just planning on letting it do that, or I don't know.
From Starbase, 33 out of 33 Raptor engines lit on the Super Heavy, all 6 engines lit on ship, bringing it to its planned suborbital trajectory around Earth. But as Dan said, we've got a lot still coming up in our flight sequence.
You got a problem.
So coming up at about T plus 18 minutes, 26 seconds, we'll have the first deployment of simulated Starlink satellites planned from Starship. That will be followed at about T plus 37 minutes and 49 seconds by the relight of a single Raptor sea level engine in space. This is going to help us gather data on our ability to do a deorbit burn for future Starship missions that will go orbital. And then, of course, one of the biggest tests yet to come is the new heat shield modifications to Starship. And that'll start with reentry into Earth's atmosphere at about the T plus 45 minute mark, which should take about 16, 18 minutes to complete. And now today's reentry is going to test that heat shield like we said, specifically how Starship will hold up to 100 missing heat shield tiles on its thermal protection system. Now, we purposely took those 100 tiles off over very critical areas of the vehicle to be able to safely test on a flight like this suborbital trajectory into the Indian Ocean what might happen on an operational flight in those areas if we were to lose the primary heat shield tile over Starship. So very critical test coming up. And then after that, we'll have the final descent where we will again be pushing Starship to its limits. We definitely pushed the booster to its limits today to gather data, and we're going to be doing the exact same thing on that ship, seeing how the ship handles various flight conditions that we will need it to fly in as we look.
Like, I don't know if it's in a flip or a roll. It has just got a very unnatural move. Like, I don't know what the hell it's doing right now.
To one day soon.
Like, I don't know shit, but like I know when things are moving, how they're moving in.
Yeah.
in the screen.
Bring ships back to Starbase for catch and reuse. Now, while there are payload simulators on Starship for deployment today, as we will see in a few minutes, the primary data and the primary payload for today is the data. And today, just like with Starship's previous test flights, that data is coming to us courtesy of our Starlink network. In fact, it is from Starlink that you are seeing these wonderful views of ship in space right now. So, and I can't wait to see Starlink really provide those epic views and that data transmission during reentry, which is very, very critical to getting that data during reentry. So, Dan and Jesse, it's been an exciting day so far. There's more to come as we get ready for Starship's first ever payload deploy. What can we expect next here in the next few minutes?
Thanks, Chris. Just going to reiterate, thank you to the Starlink team for these incredible views today. In a few minutes.
I guess maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I probably don't know what I'm talking about. What's up, Solo Dolo? How you doing, bro? What's up? What's popping?
Starship will deploy 8 Starlink simulators, similar in size to our next generation Starlink.
Maybe it was doing its own little roll or something. I don't know. It didn't seem like it was moving in the same direction. It seemed like it was in a flat spin or something. Like it was in a flat spin or a flat roll.
Starlink satellites. The Starlink simulators will be on the same suborbital trajectory as Starship, meaning they will passively re-enter the atmosphere, just like Starship. With tests like these, we can see how Starship's payload deploy systems work in flight while ensuring that the simulator satellites pose no safety risk to people on Earth or for other satellites in orbit. Now, this also ensures that any parts of these simulator Starlink satellites that do survive reentry splash down harmlessly in the middle of the Indian Ocean.
And then before we get there, though, we're going to have to open up that payload deploy door. So we've only ever done that one time before. Pretty sure it was Flight 3. Someone on the internet, please check me. But that was the only time we ever opened it. And we've had Starlink simulators on the last 2 flights, but we haven't gotten to this moment yet where we're able to open up the payload door and start deploying these. It's going to be pretty cool. We've got them stacked inside of the Starship payload bay, and we'll have potentially a couple of views. You saw one camera pop up. Yep.
So that's on the inside of the Starship, and then that stuff, they're supposed to open up some doors and drop those things out. That's the plan. Going just under 12,000 miles per hour. Just under 12,000 miles per hour.
For
and
what purpose? For what purpose?
I think they're simulating dropping a load out into space. 178. They're about 80 miles up. So 80 miles straight up, going 15,000 miles per hour, 10,000 miles per hour.
There we go. Look inside of the payload bay of Starship. You can see them stacked down in the middle of your view. There's kind of 4 on either side, so they're sandwiched on top of each other, a stack of 4 right behind each other. And then we're going to pop the door open. It's on the right side of your screen, so we'll see that open up and then start firing those Starlink simulators out into space.
Starlink simulators. So they're not satellites, they're just dummies to see if this works.
What does Starlink do?
Oh, that's what gives everybody the internet. That's how Ukraine had the internet all throughout the war. That's how we were targeting weaponry. I mean, so the commercial use is to give internet to the world or provide internet access, satellite internet access.
That's what I was trying to get.
So Africa, South Africa, Congo, whatever. And if I'm not mistaken, they use the same technology to fly the drones, and they actually make handshakes with the planes. So the takes off, the plane takes off, and then it does a handshake with the satellite, and then it communicates with the satellite, and then
to civilian control.
Yeah.
We are expecting the payload door to open in a little over a minute from now. And then once that payload door is open, about a couple minutes later is when we will start dispensing those Starlink simulators. What a great
right
view.
at the bottom of the stack. So should be.
So each one of those is one of those dummy satellites. Each one of those rails.
Should be able to see them kind of firing out from right there. So really cool.
But Broken Blade looks expensive. What do you think?
Very expensive. Right.
Looks expensive. It's expensive. Looks like some really expensive stuff. Wouldn't want any of that stuff to, I don't know who's paying for all that.
And eventually these are going to carry dozens of the next generation of Starlink satellite into space. And those are going to enable some truly insane things in terms of speeds from space and what we're able to do. Starlink's been really great for Starship, obviously. Getting live video back is really cool, but just the amount of high-speed telemetry, everything we're able to get back is insane. And for a development program, that's kind of everything. We're in excess of 130 or 100.
So check this out. Pay attention to what direction the dust is moving, because it will change. It's another telltale sign something ain't quite right.
60, my numbers are fuzzy right now, just like my brain is, but well in excess of 100 megabits per second of downlink, and a lot of that gets eaten up by video. We've got dozens of cameras across Starship. We added several more for this flight. You saw a couple of those as we have essentially 360 degrees. Open the pod bay door, Hal.
So they're still traveling the same speed. Now think about that for a second, bro. So they're traveling 2,600 kilometers per hour. 26,000, I'm sorry, 26,000. So 12,000 miles per hour, no engines on. Like they cut the engines off a long time ago.
Yeah.
So it really is a vacuum. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no resistance. Like once you get up to that speed, you kind of continue to go that speed.
Yeah.
So then you say, okay. So then but you still need a lot of fuel to get to the moon. right? Because I think there's a fuel thing on here, and they might be out of it soon.
Now we are expecting the payload door to open any moment now. So we're watching out for that. Again, you're looking at the inside of Starship.
Look at the
as it's
dust.
suborbital.
See how the dust is moving all around in different directions?
Yeah.
So I watched this earlier, and when I watched
we
it,
heard the door open was in progress. It was unable to actuate all the way open, so they are going to close it back up. Hal told me no. Said, I'm sorry, Dan. Can't do that. Looks like we won't get the door open today. But that's okay. This is obviously a test we want to be able to do before we're deploying full-on Starlinks. But the real focus for this, now that we are in space, is getting to that reentry. That is the most critical phase of Starship that we still have to prove out.
like, I just think it's crazy that we've already done
All right,
this
well,
already.
So it does look like we're not going to be able to deploy Starlinks today, but we should have pretty frequent views from Starship. They might cut in and out.
I'm just looking for brown people. I'm not even looking for black people. I'm just looking for brown people. Okay. What?
The Indian Ocean will start.
Oh, here we go. Oh, wait, here we go. Oh, it's spinning. See, if you look down at the little deal here, this little guy. Watch. Underneath you. Doing something. I don't know why it would yaw back and forth like that. That's weird.
All right, if you're just tuning in, we are about 30 minutes into today's flight.
Maybe I could be wrong. I'm trying to figure out exactly what we're looking at for sure. So, because it's still staying at 155 kilometers, and it's still at the same speed that it was at.
All right.
I'm trying to, like, what exactly are we looking at? What is this color?
Right, so 30
is the sun.
36 minutes, 15 seconds into today's flight tests. You're seeing some flat movement here on the ship. If you've been following along, we have essentially lost attitude control on the ship at this point. It is suborbital, so it's still headed to the exact same trajectory as before. We were not able to get that payload door open and deploy those nose cones. We've been dealing.
So I'm not crazy. So it's going exactly the same position. They've lost control. So it's basically just, it's going to the same. It's like throwing a baseball and there's nothing to stop it. So it's still going to the point that they started on.
Yeah.
But it's just doing this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Dealing with some
because like I said, there's no air. So like there's the control surfaces are borderline worthless. You need thrust to move the ship around. Wings don't really do much in space.
Yeah.
Leaks on the ship. This is also what led to that loss of attitude control. So at this point, we are kind of in a spin, and we are also going to be skipping that Raptor relight. If you've followed through the history of Starship, something similar happened, different cause, but same symptom back on Flight 3, where we weren't able to maintain attitude control in orbit. And so we're going to skip the relight of that Raptor engine while we're in space. We are going to still proceed with entry, but as we are not able to control the attitude of the ship, as we get into entry, it will enter in whatever orientation it is in at the time, which does not bode well for the ship's heat shield, as we're not going to be essentially aligned the way that we want to do for reentry. So it is definitely coming down. It is definitely heading to the Indian Ocean, but our chances of making it all the way down are pretty slim. So we'll still get as much data as we can. We're still getting live telemetry, live views from Starlink the entire time, and we'll continue to stick with ship as it continues on. We are about 10 minutes away or so until we start getting into entry, and the light will start to pick up as we cross the Indian Ocean, and we'll start to see a little bit more daylight, and we'll, as always, as long as we maintain that comm link, get some.
Got you. So they're on the other side of the planet, so it's dark.
Plasma on the way in, and start to bring the Starship back through the Earth's atmosphere. So that coming up in about 10 minutes or so. So we'll check back in.
So it is coming down. It's 112 kilometers. So it's definitely getting lower. Speed is the same or higher. I don't know about you, Broken Blade, but that looks hot to me. Is that heat? I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It could be wrong. Because I don't think they're... Yeah, I want to know what I'm looking at. Did they refire the engines, or is that just what it looks like?
I think it might be just what it looks like.
That's
All right, so we are 42 minutes and change that we need to try and gather
it
as
finally
much
blew
data.
up.
Ship into.
We are at the phase
maybe
where
not.
we would expect entry to start within the next minute or so. So we are entering uncontrolled, but again, we're entering into an airspace and a sea space that is cleared and monitored in advance of launch and before we get to this phase.
And with the views that we are able to see, you are seeing a lot of that plasma build up. During reentry, we do expect the vehicle to see about 1400 degrees Celsius.
Well,
and
there
you
it
can see
goes.
the,
It's starting to
the
come apart
flap,
already.
feeling that temperature there, a little bit melting away. But as we expected with the spinning of the vehicle. We are no longer controlling the attitude of the vehicle. So this is now at this point in the test flight, it is expected to see it begin to
Break
demise
apart.
a little bit on its way back down to Earth.
Yeah. And so we'll stick with it for as long as we're kind of getting
which is
some obviously
And
relations to
it's
Finn.
done.
We did spring a
Yeah, so it blew itself up on re-entry. Here's my thing about it, Broken Blade. All this is going on. Okay, there's two things. One, clearly this is a lot harder than it looks, and I have a hard time believing that they just got this done in the 60s and 70s. Unless they did, and they really destroyed and tried to keep people from doing it, and there really is information that they're hiding. You know what I mean? Like, why couldn't you just redo this thing that you did before, but just do it? You have better technology now. Welds are better, materials are better, they're lighter, they're da-da-da-da-da-da, right? The only reason why I would think that they wouldn't do that is if they did it with stuff that we weren't supposed to have that they might have to explain. That's the reason. That's what I think. Either they didn't do it, or the technology that they used to do it was like stolen or alien or something, and they can't fess up to having it, so they have to pretend like it never existed. And they can't give it away either because the jig would be up. Or they were lying the whole time, and this is actually what it really takes to freaking get into space, and they freaking faked it. It's one or the other.
Yeah.
To me, it's one or the other. And then two, bro, we're not involved in this at all as a people. A rich South African who owns the largest, or one of the largest, the only American EV company in the world, as of right now, what seems like the most successful private rocket company, and the leading commercial satellite system for military or civilian use. I mean, I don't think he's very, how patriotic can he be? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It just bummed me out that I'm like, wow, we really don't, like, I didn't see a single dark face. You know, it's not something that we're talking about, not something that our people are talking about. Kids are trying to be not rocket scientists. These kids are trying to be football players and basketball players and YouTubers. This is a problem. It bums me out. I can't lie. It kind of made me sad a little bit. You know? We're not involved in STEM. You know, we're not. I saw Obsidian on Dr. Tiosan Johnson's show the other day.
Yeah.
And not Theo Coop, somebody else. There's another Theo.
Theo Wolf.
Yeah, I think he has a school, a STEM program. And those guys are getting guys jobs. So,
yeah, cybersecurity, I thought is what he taught.
Okay, there might be. I think there's a group. I think they've been slowly building. They've been doing the thing, right? I honestly, if I have something that I can offer, I will absolutely reach out and communicate with those guys. We don't have a big enough audience, and we don't have the type of legs necessary to show our work. So we got to build it up, and then we'll get over there and try to figure out what we can offer those guys. But STEM is definitely what needs to happen for sure. I don't know, bro. I mean, did you want to get into space and stuff when you were a kid, Broken Blade? Like, was this ever something that was a possibility for you? Did you look up and be like, dang, I want to go up there one day, or was it just never?
Not so much space, but like physics. I was curious about for a while.
Did you get support, or at least have some opportunities to kind of figure out how to do anything? You know, like
really.
was engineering or being a scientist or anything like that, you know, was that ever an option?
Can't say not really.
Like it never even came up as something that you could have been something you could have done. Like I'm like, how do these kids get to be here? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. Like what's that path look like? How do you get over there? Did they just pluck them up? Is it just like schools from that side of town? Was it just the kids of the parents that donated? Like how did they get there? What programs were they in? Did they all have to go to MIT? Did they all have to go to Columbia? Could they have gone to all of them? Did they go to college at all? Do they have to be young geniuses? Bro, I'm telling you, there's something to that stuff that I was talking to you about the other day. I'm telling you. Man, they got us out here believing that we're not. I think it's the opposite, bro. I think we're actually the strong ones. I think we're the power is in our hands. We just don't. We forgot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know how some people feel like they want to smile behind stuff like this, but like for me, I see it as being like it's like spitting in my face to me. That's just how I perceive that. I mean, it's probably the wrong way to do it, but that's how I perceive that.
This is crazy, man. They do target kids. Remember, like in third grade, there was a kid in class, kid named Victor. That was big into space, like complete nerd about space and NASA and all of that. Remember he was gone for class for like 3 months. Come back, find out he was at like a NASA space camp. Had like footage of like several like launch attempts and all sorts of stuff.
I mean, ultimately, it's young people that are going to grow up to see these kind of projects through. But I just don't like that it's us that it's like, oh, the only way you're going to get out of the hood is to play basketball. The only way you're going to get out of the hood is to play football. You hammer that stuff. You got to work twice as hard. Right? Like all these bullshit messages get pounded into our heads. And then while we're trying to get unstuck and figure shit out,
Again, by the time.
I mean, I'm not saying one thing or the other. I'm just simply making an observation. That's all. I'm seeing. Huh?
Back to do with this plastic diesel.
Yeah. Like that's what we all should be doing. Yeah. We should all have those in our backyard. We should all have a variation of it. Maybe one of us uses plastic, but the other tries to use dirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh snap, bro! Did you see that that glacier fell in Blatten, Switzerland? Did we not talk about this?
No, we didn't.
Oh, sorry. I'm you know me, bro. My bad. So there was a there's a mountain up in, if I'm not, I think it's Switzerland. Yeah. And it had a, it's the Matterhorn. It's it's the Swiss Alps. Super, super, super steep. And what happens is, these glaciers come down and, they're hundreds of feet thick, hundreds of feet wide that come down in those valleys. And what looks like a flat space, you don't realize it, but there's like a whole moving, grinding thing underneath there. So essentially they started having some rock falls close to this town that was at the bottom of this, underneath this glacier, basically not directly beneath it, but close enough. And above this glacier was a ridge that was just, it broke off and was sinking. So they had this entire glacier that was slipping and a nasty rock cliff. And when I say a cliff, I mean like an actual cliff, like a whole big old corner of a mountain was just like cracking and starting to slide down the mountain. Well, it was sliding down the mountain right on top of a glacier that was already starting to slide down. So they evacuated the town. And when you're like, oh yeah, that's definitely going to fall. But then you're kind of surprised when it actually does.
Yeah.
It came down this morning or yesterday. It was yesterday. But I think we finally got good images today. And it basically covered a valley, backed up a river. So now the river has been backed up, created a lake on the backside of the fall. This is pretty crazy, especially if you like look at the scale of it. Man, I hope it translates, because like it was a monster. Okay, so let's just start. This is what it looked like when it fell. That's across the valley.
The collapse of the massive Birch Glacier
okay.
over the village of Blatten in the Swiss Alps.
Okay, did you see the top? Okay, hold on. It's bigger. Okay, so right down at the corner of your screen, in between those two mountains there, just watch.
Collapse of the massive Birch Glacier over the village of Blatten in the Swiss Alps has once again revealed the terrifying face of climate change in mountain regions, leaving a small community of 300 residents homeless, helpless, and facing an uncertain future. Last week's evacuation of the village provided a small measure of protection for the residents of Blatten, located in the southern Wallis region of Switzerland, against the looming danger. However, despite these
So that's the valley now.
Precautionary efforts, the massive collapse that occurred around 3:30 p.m. on Wednesday instantly swept away the valley's landscape and the village's history. Emergency services confirmed that the massive ice mass flowed into the valley, leaving a path of complete destruction. One person was reported missing, but no injuries were reported among the evacuated residents. Raphael Mayoraz, head of the Wallis Canton Natural Hazard Service, stated that the collapse of the Birch Glacier released 3 million cubic meters of material, which surged rapidly into the valley. It was
3 million cubic. So essentially, okay, imagine, just to put it in perspective, 3 football fields wide by 3 football fields long by 3 football fields high is roughly around 3 million. And I believe the final number was like 5 million cubic meters.
It was reported that the accumulated debris blocked the Lonza River over a stretch of about 2 kilometers, creating a small lake. Mayoras noted that a
Like that's the only part of the town that's left right there. the rest of the town is big old mound here is like you can't like it's hard like you have to look at the house next to the dirt like look to like see the difference because it's really hard to comprehend how much shit just fell into this valley.
small mountain of debris has emerged in the area, with the full scope of the event still unknown and the possibility of further evacuations looming. Local
Dude, it smashed up houses on the other side of up the mountain on the other side of the valley.
authorities have requested assistance from the Swiss Army's disaster relief units. This catastrophe is not only
Okay, now check this out. Now, okay, if you look from your screen up on top right there, okay? If you look straight over, there's a ledge. This little ledge. Okay, so there's a ledge between the little man and your screen. There's that white patch, and then there's like a hard edge right in the middle of that. You see it?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the ledge that's still sinking. So the glacier fell, but the rocks are still up there, slipping still.
Boy.
So it's not even done.
only a tragedy for Blatten, but serves as a stark warning to all communities throughout the Alps. Accelerated melting caused
insane.
by climate change is leading to the thawing of the
Look how they keep putting it on climate change, dog. Are you feeling a conspiracy? I'm starting to feel a conspiracy. Climate is absolutely changing. It's absolutely changing.
Yeah.
But the climate has been doing this the entire time. It's been, it's been, you know what I mean? And I assume that we are doing something to speed it up or change it. But I have, like I said, I have a funny suspicion that we're going to get hit by something well before we have an opportunity to do the damage that we're doing, I think. Look, that's crazy. This is on the so this is on the far side of the valley and up the valley. Like this is like up the mountain on the other side.
permafrost that has held these mountains together for thousands of years. Scientists, who describe this icy layer as the glue that binds the high peaks, warn that as it disappears, unstable slopes and collapses will become inevitable. Glaciologists have been sounding the alarm for years, urging authorities to take these risks seriously. Blatten is not the last of the threatened villages to be evacuated. A similar disaster occurred in Switzerland in 2017 near the village of Bondo. That event claimed the lives of 8 hikers and destroyed numerous homes. Likewise, the village of Brienz was evacuated 2 years ago due to a mountainside collapse. These past events highlight that the tragedy in Blatten should be seen as a warning. The effects of the climate crisis are no longer a distant possibility, but have become a daily reality for the residents of the Alps.
I mean, it's eventually going to get warmer, no?
Yeah.
Right? Like it's eventually going to get warmer. Earth's poles are shifting and the Earth's rotation is slowing down. Well, the poles are shifting. I don't think the rotation is slowing down just yet. I know they're trying to sell us on that part. I mean, if that were the case, then it would absolutely change the length of our days dramatically. So I don't think the Earth's rotation is slowing down. The poles are shifting. And that might be part of what we got going on, man. There's a crazy solar flare that's happening right now, a solar storm, and we're getting hit by crazy radiation like as we speak, which absolutely does something funny to the inside of the planet, which absolutely makes the stuff on the top move. I've never seen, we showed that video, we looked at that video the other day where the whole ground, the whole half of the photo, the whole half of the video moved 6 feet. And they never seen that before. I mean, I've seen the remnants of it. I've seen the aftermath, but I've never seen it actually happen like real time I'm like,
Right.
damn, like the telephone poles, the building, half the building, this one, like the driveway, like, you know what I mean? I've never seen it just like, wow, at the same time. I've never seen that before. So, you know, maybe there's never been a camera in the right spot pointing at the right thing. Needless to say, that's a pretty crazy thing to see. Yeah, they did say that. It was, you're right. You're right, Cody. You right. You are 100% correct, Cody Marshall. You are absolutely right. Because the Three Gorges Dam did absolutely slow the planet down a smidge. Did you know that, Broken Blade?
No, I did not.
The Three Gorges Dam is like a 3-mile long dam in China. They dammed up the Yangtze River, which is a monster of a river, like one of them that no human beings swim across type rivers.
Yeah.
Like big old river. And they like dammed it up and flooded a whole bunch of villages, and it was probably a bad idea. It was probably a bad idea. I think the best idea is to have a bunch of small reservoirs instead of one big one.
Yeah.
Because if something messes up, then, you know, you have less to fix. But China wants to do it big, so China did it big. Anyways, you know, it was a little misdirection today, Broken Blade. I had like I said, today was a very long day. It was cool though. Got a lot done. Was very productive, but you know, it was wearing on me, that's for sure. But I just made the observation that, look, I would love for us to be more involved in rocket tech. I don't know what that really looks like for sure for us, but you know, I would love for us to be more involved in this kind of stuff. I don't like that I don't know whether we've been boxed out of it. I don't know whether we're just not interested. I don't know if we've been told that we shouldn't be interested. I don't know if we're being talked out of it. I don't know. Stuff like this. I'm curious about science personally. I'm curious about how this kind of stuff works. It's a little shocking and maybe sad to me that it seems as though we're just not involved.
All of the above and all the intention. Again, like Warehouse Jobs was saying, people block for promotions.
Like, you know, like why are we not? Like, I see billions of dollars, trillions of dollars that we are not even touching. Like, not touching. They're taking it. We're paying for it. But we're not furthering. Our community's not getting any stronger. Our community's not getting better. And when I say our, I mean like the Black community or Black people as a whole. And again, not just, I mean, just to even the playing field is all, right? Like just to get back on an even playing field. And, you know, just kind of bums me out.
That's something they want.
Again,
that's implying that's something they want.
I mean, they talk like sometimes they do. You know?
Maybe banning.
Huh?
Maybe banning, but
I mean, he says it. I mean, we'll find out real quick. But and look, again, I don't want any handouts. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, let's access. What schools do I have to go to? Who do I need to talk to? What is there? Like, have a competition so that I can get in there too. Like, you know, after school program. Like, what is it? Come to my, you know, like, how do you get there? You know, you just pull people straight out of MIT. Is that the only way to go? Like, at least kids need to know what the path is.
Yeah.
If I want to go to I know how to get in the NFL. I know how to get in the NBA. I know how to do that. All right. I know there's basketball camps and football camps and basketball camps all over the place. Absolutely. I know how to do that, but something that actually might matter, you know, like versus entertainment. Man, I don't know. Bum me out. Shout out to Cody Marshall. Rocket tech is a possibility. Yeah, man. I mean, there's like material science, you know, obviously you could do the math that's necessary to get the thing up there, get the thing down, you know, calculating fuel, oxygen, all the chemicals that you might be bringing along with you. I mean, I get all of that stuff. You know, interior of the machine. You know, we were looking at the whole of that, the inside of that, the hull of that spaceship. Robot arms everywhere. You know, dummy satellites on rails on a rail system. I don't know if you saw it, but I saw it. It had like it was all on a rail system that it was gonna. I don't know. I could only see some of it, but I mean, we're boxed out of all that stuff. You know, like I don't like that. Anyway, anything you want to add before we get up out of here, Broken Blade?
Yeah, you said it took at least Elon Musk said it would take them like to refuel 16 times to attempt to reach the moon.
At least with this thing.
Yeah, which I would assume would be more advanced.
I don't. I mean, maybe. I think it was called the Saturn V rocket. The Saturn V rocket, and whatever they did got the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle, up out of the atmosphere through that radiation that we don't know how to get through, and then all the way to the moon. Spit off the top part. The top part dropped off the astronauts. The part stayed in orbit for a little while, and then they flew back up from the surface of the moon, caught back up to the pod, and then the pod sent them back home on one tank of fuel, whichever with the fuel that they carried with them on board.
It's wild.
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe, you know, because again, you're at terminal velocity, right? So say you get up to, we were just at 12,000 miles per hour, right? 12,000 miles per hour. And then you could conceivably turn the engines off and the momentum would take you there as long as you were on the right trajectory. I mean, I guess conceivably you could do that. But if you could do that, then if that's the case, then Elon still saying you would need to refuel 16 times still just doesn't make any sense. Like the Saturn V rocket, I don't think was bigger than this. If it was bigger than this, it wasn't bigger by much.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. But yeah, like just another on the mountain of lies.
Yeah, a little bit. Yep.
This is an issue of that meteor Apophis. I hope it misses. Failing that, I hope these projects pay off and we're able to successfully move it. But failing that, also part of me thinks that you're trying to run for something else. Tower of Babel. Bible speaks of this of several civilizations trying to come together to build a tower to reach God. I really like Mr. Sperling's interpretation. When humanity's technology exceeded their morality, it leads to destruction. We become hypersexual, hyper greedy, a highly sociopathic culture. A lot of which I put on the elite. But I find the ways to make baby deletion a thing. as a means to promote promiscuity and equate whoredom to empowerment, does some horrific damage to the Western civilization.
Thanks.
Robbed, raped, and pillaged this entire planet. It seems you might be trying to run from your comeuppance. Looking at this, like pass-through rockets you said have exploded
in the atmosphere. Yeah.
I will see you running away from this. Africa, slowly but surely, they seem to be getting hip to what's been going on.
Yep.
And they seem to be growing in allies. Leave you feeling that even if you somehow get off this planet, my mind is went to Matthew 5:5. You've done everything you can to box us out, but here it is: blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
And ain't that the truth?
I guess I'll land my plane there.
I mean, I think you were onto something, sir. I really think you were. Because I think about that too. You know, it's like some people leave, they think they can leave, so some folks can leave, and then some folks think that meat ain't greasy, so they're just going to be here and they're going to be, cannon fodder. And then there are going to be some people that are going to go up into the hills and say, we're just going to ride this thing out and see what happens. And that seems like, and then what ends up happening is that some people eventually come on back, and then the people come up out of the caves where they were, and then start all over again. It has happened 3 times, at least 2.
Yeah,
I think if I had to guess, if I had to hypothesize. So I think you're onto something, bro. Anyway, I'm going to let this bad boy take off, and we're gonna go on ahead and end the show right after that. Salute to everybody that came through: Cody Marshall, Braxton, Solo Dolo, all my homeboys, all my regulars, man. I know I had to slow it down for a split second. I have something really important and I want to make sure I cover it properly. So I've been slow to the trigger on this one thing. But I saw this and I did make that observation that there were not any brown faces, black faces. And it just kind of made me sad. Anyway, let's watch this take off.
T plus 40 seconds. It's one hell of a sight from here. We see it arcing right over top of us. We see 33 out of 33 Raptor engines lit on Super Heavy as it starts to ascend skyward.